On June 9, 1973, a chestnut racehorse turned a mile and a half at Belmont Park into one of the most famous minutes in American sports history. Secretariat did not simply win the Belmont Stakes. He won by 31 lengths, finished the distance in 2 minutes and 24 seconds, and completed the first Triple Crown in 25 years. The margin was so large, and the time so fast, that the race quickly moved from sports result to cultural memory. The story matters because the Belmont was not a private barn legend. It was a public event in a television age, watched by racing fans, casual viewers, bettors, journalists, breeders, and a country that still treated major horse races as national sporting occasions. Thoroughbred racing in the early 1970s carried glamour, money, risk, and old social rituals, but it also faced the pressure of changing entertainment. A horse who could draw millions of eyes to a racetrack became more than an athlete. He became a test of whether an older sport could still command a national stage. Secretariat came from Meadow Stable in Virginia, a farm tied to the Chenery family. Penny Chenery, also known as Penny Tweedy, became central to the story after her father's health declined, and the family operation faced hard business decisions. The horse's pedigree connected Bold Ruler on the sire side with Something Royal on the dam side, but pedigree is never a guarantee. Racing asks a body to turn inheritance, training, temperament, and circumstance into performance under pressure. By the spring of 1973, Secretariat was already famous, but fame made the Belmont heavier. He had won the Kentucky Derby in record time after accelerating through the race, then won the Preakness, where timing controversy and later official review became part of the story. The Triple Crown had not been won since Citation in 1948. Every year since then had reminded racing people how hard the sequence was. 3 races, different tracks, shifting distances, travel, public pressure, and little room for a bad day. The Belmont Stakes is the longest of the 3 Triple Crown races. At a mile and a half, it asks different questions from the Derby and the Preakness. Early speed can become a liability if a horse cannot carry it. A cautious ride can leave too much to do. A rival can force an uncomfortable pace. Jockey Ron Turcotte and trainer Lucien Laurin entered that afternoon with a horse known for power, but even great horses have limits. The Belmont was supposed to reveal whether Secretariat's brilliance could stretch all the way to the final pole. At the start, Secretariat did not wait far behind. He moved with Sham, the rival who had chased him through the first 2 classics. For a time, the race looked like a duel, 2 strong horses near the front, the field behind them, the long oval still ahead. Then the shape changed. Secretariat kept going. Sham could not stay with him. The gap widened from a lead into an absence, from a racing advantage into something viewers could see without needing a stopwatch. The great call from the day captured what the eye already knew. Secretariat was moving like a tremendous machine, but the power of the image came from the empty track around him. In most horse races, the drama is compressed. Shoulders, silks, rail position, a late move, a nose at the wire. At Belmont, the drama became distance itself. The camera had to hold one horse far in front while the rest of the field fell out of the same story. The numbers turned awe into evidence. 2 minutes and 24 seconds for a mile and a half set a record that still defines the race. 31 lengths made the result feel almost unreal. The Triple Crown was complete, but the Belmont was larger than a checkmark. It made people reconsider what they had just watched in the Derby and Preakness. The sequence was no longer only 3 wins. It was a body of work crowned by a performance that seemed to exceed normal comparison. There are dangers in turning any animal athlete into myth. Secretariat was not a machine. He was a living horse shaped by breeding, care, training, track condition, jockey decisions, competition, and health. The people around him mattered. Chenery's stewardship, Laurin's training, Turcotte's ride, grooms and handlers, veterinarians, exercise riders, and the racing institutions that made the Triple Crown possible. A legendary performance can hide the network of labor and risk behind it if we let the single image do all the work. The business consequences were also real. A Triple Crown winner affects breeding value, media value, and the future of a stable. Secretariat's stud career and later reputation kept his name in public circulation, while racing itself kept measuring later champions against the standard of 1973. When Seattle Slew and Affirmed won the Triple Crown later in the decade, they joined the rare company. But Secretariat's Belmont remained the visual shorthand for domination. The race endures because it solved a storytelling problem in the cleanest possible way. Sports history is often argued through statistics, eras, opponents, surfaces, rules, and nostalgia. Secretariat's Belmont offered both number and image, the record time and the widening daylight. Viewers did not need to understand every detail of thoroughbred breeding or pace handicapping to understand that something unusual was happening. The next checkpoint is how history remembers athletic greatness. We should keep the facts close. June 9, 1973, Belmont Park, Ron Turcotte aboard Secretariat, Lucian Lauren training, Penny Chenery and Meadow Stable behind him, 1.5 miles in 2:24, victory by 31 lengths, first Triple Crown since 1948. Around those facts, a legend grew. Its force came from a simple sight at the top of the stretch. One chestnut horse, still lengthening, with history falling farther behind him.